Chapter 1. Shigaraki Tomura's Early Days. Day 0.
We were supposed to have a negotiation meeting with the Shigaraki moron soon, but with these incidents, the master has moved his attention to the new rumors of attacks throughout the city. Although this could be a setback for our next move, I have no doubt that we can take advantage of this. Who knows? Maybe with these new people, we could gather a larger army for our crusade. Apparently they all follow the crusade of creating chaos and are governed by the same banner of a bloody cross. The master says that it's possibly a quirk and one that we must have at our disposal as soon as possible. I just know that this is the opportunity we needed to finally tip the scales in our favor.
Day 1.
Just by watching TV, I can see how screwed up things are. If this is a work of a quirk, it's possibly the strongest I've ever seen. So many people under control of a single one, with so many power outages in the city, is becoming annoying for everyone, and not to mention the headache of the screams of surroundings. On the other hand, I have not received any direct news other than that the streets are in total chaos and that several well-known faces have been subjected to criticism by the press. Bestius has been very gentle with his measures, only imprisoning people who find themselves with a cross on their face. Endeavor took a more aggressive route by incinerating anyone suspected of being a suspect, and this has caused them a lot of criticism and a possible suspension of their license. I can't say this isn't funny to watch. On the other hand, UA has tried to call on all the students who are on the streets to return to school until the situation changes, and from what I've seen, there has been a lot of opposition from both agencies and the students themselves. I suppose they believe that this will just be another mission that will give them a better opportunity in the future when they become heroes. Poor bastards.
Day 2.
A highly contagious pathogen. All for One told the team during a call. He will try to refine it into a version that's useful to us, as these infected don't follow anyone and only seek to cause as much pain as possible. Well, it seems there'll be an indefinite delay to any activity beyond waiting for the next orders. On the other hand, the damn light keeps going out and coming back, causing me a horrible headache. But that doesn't mean I'm not having fun watching it go all down the drain. Genius's act of good faith was short-lived. A group of those savages tore off his limbs as soon as they crowded around him, and the students who were with him fled after being cornered in a display of absolute heroism and bravery. Meanwhile, the UA has closed its doors to the public, activating its security system, leaving anyone infected or not outside. It's told its remaining students to seek shelter outside, and as soon as the situation improves, the doors will remain closed. Despite everything, it seems I didn't have to lift a finger for this hypercritical society to self-destruct.
Day 5. Endeavor has fallen.
Things haven't stopped getting worse, even for us. A couple of days ago during a raid, trying to contain a couple of infected heroes, one of those crazy ones managed to get close enough to Endeavor to bite off his nose before being incinerated. It didn't take even 5 minutes for the former hero to grab his own son and slowly start cooking him alive. Even though he put up a fight, I suppose he thought that if he talked to his father, he could keep him sane, and when he refused to attack him, the latter took the opportunity to incinerate his arms first. I don't know if it was the shock, but all the boy could do was scream and watch as his father continued to prolong his torment as much as possible, to the point where they stopped transmitting the signal. When night fell that day, the light went out and never returned, forcing us to look for ways to replenish the energy and in the process clean up the perimeter a bit. Which luckily wasn't even a challenge for Darby's flames. The damn smell of burning flesh and the screams of pleasure at being incinerated by the infected made the matter more interesting. On the other hand, Kirigiri has been moving from one place to another, doing who knows what. But by orders of the boss, the team was divided to another location, leaving Darby, Toga and me in a base outside the city. As much as the boss would like to hide it, I think he knows the situation's more than even we could handle right now.
Day 12.
For the past week, Kirigiri has been bringing in supplies and mobilizing us to prevent large clusters of infected from forming, but no one had expected us to have someone lurking around. We were on an expedition with the whole team when, after a loud bang, Compress was transformed to a lump of wall, followed by maniacal laughter. It was Mirko, covered in blood and other fluids. I don't even want to imagine what they were. I only saw her wearing a necklace made from human fingers while she moved like a damn ray. I'd heard on the radio that she was a fierce hunter, having wiped out a group of uninfected people holed up in a makeshift base in the school. Students no older than 10, and a couple of teachers didn't stand a chance against her. But of course he didn't let them go easily. His screams lasted for hours on the radio, until I think the frequency was disconnected. Without even being able to react to his next move, he began to mock us while spreading the remains of Compress over his body in a disgustingly erotic way.
Oh, it broke so fast. Don't you want to play with this bunny? I'll let you bleed.
It was the last thing she said before Darby, the only one who managed to get out of his paralysis that had invaded the rest of us, incinerated her with a rage that was almost tangible. Unfortunately, this attracted any infected nearby, like flies to garbage. Former heroes, civilians and others had now been alerted by the large web of blue fire that danced in the wind.
Shit! Compress! Kirigiri! Get us out of here immediately!
Toga exclaimed as we were surrounded by more and more idiots, making the blue flames the only thing separating us from the infected. After a couple of minutes that felt like forever, Darby was starting to get tired, and we didn't receive a response from Kirigiri.
They keep coming. I don't know how much longer I can hold out.
Darby told me while trying not to lower the intensity of his flames even a little. Damn Kirigiri, take us home! I exclaimed as I watched those maniacs advance, using each other as human shields, with a voracious hunger at the sight of new prey. From one moment to the next, we were transported back to the base from one moment, while Darby fell to the ground from the pain of having overused his quirk. When we arrived at the base on the outskirts of the city, it was deserted and dark, while only an echo could be heard coming from the basement, which we didn't have time to deal with until Darby had recovered.
Day 20.
We spent days doing our best to keep Darby alive, and it wasn't until he was somewhat stable that I asked Toga to take care of him alone for a while, and she reluctantly agreed. It's times like this that I wish we had someone with a healing quirk on this team. After I decided to do something about the noise in the basement, and ventured down to see that it was completely dark, and there was only Kirigiri motionless, as if a toy had its batteries removed. When I was about to complain to him about what happened on the streets a few days ago, he just turned on the small handheld recorder he had found. It was the voice of All for One.
Shigaraki, if you're listening to this, it's either because I'm no longer here, or we're facing a situation that's gone out of hand.
I moved even closer as the message continued.
I have instructed Kirigiri to deliver this message to you and then leave for an unknown location and remain there indefinitely. All the Nomus we have been capturing and creating I've been transported to key points of the cities with others to attack anyone and draw attention as far away from you as possible. I recommend that you stay as far away from the cities as possible once things have calmed down. I've sent a similar message to other members of the League. This is the beginning of a new era, one that Tomura wasn't prepared for. Our future, or what's left of it, is now in your hands.
After this, Kirigiri disappeared into one of his portals, leaving me alone in the darkness of the room.
To be continued in the early days of Iziku Midoriya.